Morning, Saturday 2nd of May 2026, bank holiday weekend. Didn't do anything with it last weekend, just couldn't be bothered. So back onto starting to put it back together now. I've got to make up pieces. So this is the first piece I've got to make up, which is the inside bit. We'll show you in a bit. I was thinking to use this right angle section, but there's no point because I'd have to cut so much off it. I might as well just start from scratch and make my own piece. So we'll go through how we're going to make it. Put that down. First thing, bit of card. So this is just about 1mm thick card. We'll lay it out, we'll draw it out, and we'll get a piece that we then cut out of a piece of flat steel. So I'll draw around it and then I'll show you. So you can see I've just laid it on and literally drawn around it. So lie it on the card, tilt it at the different angles, lie it on, draw around it. Next we'll cut that out, join up the dots and everything where I've got bits missing. Just get my ruler and join those up, and then we'll cut it out. So straight edge I've just joined up, next I'll cut it out. Pair of scissors, literally cut it out. Try and get it on the line, and then we'll transfer this onto a piece of steel and we'll cut it out. Cut, and then cut down there. Yeah. Right. So now that's my piece that I'm going to cut out of flat steel. So that should now, when I get it the right way around, match that piece pretty much, and I'll be able to put the folds on like that and get it to match. We'll do that after. We'll just cut that out flat now. So now I need to just go and find my steel and mark it out, cut it out. So a piece of Zertec coated flat 1.2mm steel. We'll find a bit on there that'll fit, and then we'll cut it out. So I can use this piece, can't I? Because that's all right there. So we'll do that, we'll cut that there. So we'll mark round, and then I'll transfer that and cut that out to there. So laid that on, literally drawn round with a black Sharpie, and now we'll cut that out with the angle grinder and the slitting disc. Cut on the line, round there, cut that out. I'll do that next. Side of the edges up. Flat disc. Right, the other way. So. Right, next job is get my fold on it. Show you how we do that. So obviously now we've cut out our template onto a piece of steel there. So that's now roughly correct. Maybe a little bit thinner in the odd place, and a little bit fatter in the odd place. That's a little bit fatter, but that doesn't matter because it can stick off the bottom where it's going to go. Next we've got to figure out where we put the fold. So again, it's where the card comes in and the original piece. So we're going to lay it on the original piece and push so that we get the fold. Lay it on top and push, and then we figure out where we get the fold. That's one way of doing it. There are other ways of doing it. So if I lay it on there, then I can mark with my felt tip that I've put here. There's my felt tip. So obviously at the moment this is straight and that's got a curve on it. So what I probably need to do is work out how far along that fold's going to be, because the fold will be straight. Like that. We'll lay it on and we'll put on where the fold is. So it's there. And it's there. And it's, I'll just mark it. We're coming along and pushing, and then we've got a line on here on the card that we can follow. So I'll just put some dots on it. Like that. So then I'll measure, I'll get my ruler and I'll measure to see how long we need to put the fold on. So I've just got one of these engineer's type squares, set it like that so I can go along and get that roughly right there, and then that'll follow the curve round here, then that bottom bit, so that's in the right place, you see, like that. So then I'll mark that, then tighten that up onto the steel. So then I can go along there and mark where the fold's got to be, like so. So again, we'll get the Sharpie, like that, bring you down like this so that you can see what I'm doing. So I'll put the Sharpie on there. Could do with the new one really. Do it with a pen. See if a pen will do it. It's better. Right, let's have a look at that. Does that match roughly that? Yes, it does, is the answer. So next I can fold that over now to match this. So that's the next job, is to start folding that over. I think we'll do it in the vise. Come this way. We do it with a vise and a hammer. So we've got it in the vise, sat on the line, and we're going to start just bashing this over a bit at a time, move along bit at a time. You'll get the idea. So I've done a bit, now we're going to move along and do the next bit. This bit. The end bit. Very end bit. So, of course, with this, there's two curves in it. there's this curve, and then there's this curve. I'll show you how we do that one after. So I just keep doing that until I've got that the right sort of angle on the fold. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flatten off these spot welds where I've drilled them out, because I can't lie it on the inside properly to see if I've got the right curve. I think it's about right. It's looking about right on that angle. So next I just need to put that curve in there a bit better. It's coming, it's coming. I'm just going to grind them off. So now I've ground them off, I can lay it in there a bit more. So I can see that more or less that's right. Just need a little bit more, just marking where to bash. A bit more, so from there to there, that bit needs the curve. Right, just do that a bit more, and then it'll be fettled on the car. Just a bit more there. Right, let's get that other curve now. A bit there, because that ain't straight. That's it. Right, let's go and do this curve. Right, this time we're going to use my shrinker stretcher. So we want to stretch it on that face to get it to curve, and that one probably. Just got to figure out which way to do it. So put that in there. That is on shrink at the minute, I think, so I need to change the jaws probably and put it on stretch. So I'll swap my jaws over. In there. Feel it in. Not quite set properly. And then a bit more here. That's it. So now we've got that curve in as well. So just basically stretch that bit which made it curve round that way on the end. So now we've got that, so next we go try it in. So this is where the first piece goes, in here on that curve. I've not done the rust treat yet, I need to do that. So that came out of here, if I get it the right way around. Like that. Bit too big yet. So can you see it's just overlapping too much there. I think I need to make that corner a bit sharper yet and shorten it a little bit. So I need to bash that a bit more there in the vise, and then I need to grind along that edge, take about 2 or 3 millimeters off by the look of it until it fits in. The other way to do it is I get it till it fits in and then I cut more of that off to fit. That's the other way of doing it, but it's not quite the right fold yet on this end. That end's right, this end, so just need to do a bit more there. That's better. So now I'll position it, mark along, cut. I'll cut another bit of that out until it fits. So I'll just slice a bit more of that in a minute. I've just been cleaning up a bit more rust in here. First thing I need to do is weld that up. I've cut through, and I was cutting that, weld that back up, flat that back, rust treat, zinc prime, weld through, and then I can weld that piece in. I'm going to have to clean that edge back again. I've done that edge. I'll have to do it again after I've done this. So I need to do that first. These pieces now can go in the scrap, and that's my piece ready. So there we go, first bit of welding done. Probably a tiny little hole there, which I'm not bothered about, I'm going to leave that. I'll give that a coat of prime next. And then I'll have to I'll have to mask all this off so that I can put my rust straight on. Let's do that. Let's mask all that off, get my rust straight on, get my primer on, and then I can weld that in later. I need to get rust straight on this bit before I seal that in. So get some rust straight on there. Right, that's converted, so I can get a bit of spray in there now. Zinc spray, weld through primer. Now I need to mask off the rest of the door so I don't get overspray over there. Right, let's do that. Right, weld through primer on. Rust straight just on this little piece here because my repair piece overlaps. Well primed the inside yet, but I am going to weld that hole up. So I'm going to go and have some lunch, I think, and we'll carry on later. We're just getting ready to put that first piece in. So I've now welded that little pinhole up. I've ground these flat ready. That's where there was spot welds left. So that's ready to make that next piece. It goes there, I'll show you that in a minute. I'm just going to put some more weld through primer on the back side of this one. And then I'll fill that one in. I'll weld that one up, I'll clean it up inside, weld that up with a copper backing, so I've got something to weld on when I put this piece on. I'll show you that piece next. So this bit comes off the inside of there. This is why I've cut all that other bit off to fix this, to be able to get at it to fix this. The bottom lip on all that bit is missing, and that's what the outer piece of sill welds to. So that's the next piece we're going to fix, is that one. I'm going to start to make that up now. We're going on our card, we'll lay it out. So let's lay it down. I could do with a really long piece really, but let's see, because it's all bent as well, so we want this edge to there, and then we're going to mark the centre of the spot welds. And then we'll transfer those through. Doesn't matter if they're not exact. Go around them. And then we're going to mark where that edge is. And then we'll come over and we'll go like this. Right, so now we've got a shape. So there's my ruler. So that's the fold there. So that'll carry on over here. same with that. Just carry on it at the same sort of angle. And then we'll cut that out. Okay. So we've now got that replicated with our holes and all that that's missing, and then we'll be able to cut that out, trace it, cut it, fold it. That one's easier than the other one. We've got that piece is that cut out. We can put a fold on it. It needs to go that way, so I've got to fold that next. That's folded. I can try that in next. That looks okay. Now I'll transfer it over to steel. Now that is longer than my piece of steel. Luckily I've got another full piece, so I go dig that out and then I can mark it, cut it, fold it. Now I've got a folder, but it's longer than the folder, so we'll have to do it the same way we did that other piece of marking it, putting it in the vise, slowly tapping it along. It works. It's just I wanted to do it with the folder, but I can't, so never mind. So a new sheet of 1.2. Right, so cut it out. Before I fold it, I need to turn it over, and I'm going to centre punch my holes. So this way around, put that on there, line it up, and then we'll go and we'll centre punch each one. So line it up. Bottom edge you're going to line up really, because that's the square one, and that end this way a tiny bit. Right, centre punch. Now that should have transferred through. One there. Okay, so now we've got a load of centre punched holes. I'm going to drill these before I fold, because it's easier to drill them while it's flat. That's all those pilot drilled. Now we'll take them out with a step drill to 8mm. So just step drill to 8mm. Next one. Yeah, that'll be big enough. There we go. So all those holes drilled out. Next job is to fold that lip over. Got to fold it the right way. So it needs to come down. So again, in the vise, hammer. Just keep hammering it over. There you go. And then that's after bashing it. So let's try it on, see if it fits. It'll probably need a bit of adjustment, won't be surprised. I put my pad out on because it kept banging my head. Yeah, so it's more or less though. There's going to be one or two bits where it needs a bit of fettling, but that ain't bad. So for instance, it don't need to be 90 degrees. So I need to bend it back a bit, and it's got a curve to it, it's not straight, so I can bend it down a bit. I've got a curve to this. That's easy enough to deal with. Right, I just need to bash that end down a bit more. Need to adjust in a little bit around like the edges to get it to fit properly, but I need to get a right curve this way first. So see you tomorrow, and then we'll weld those pieces in tomorrow. Right, see you in the morning. So welcome back. It's Sunday afternoon, 3rd of May. Didn't do anything this morning on the car because I went out on my bike and then sat around eating basically. So let's get these two pieces welded in. First thing I want to do is weld up that hole. Like I was saying, I'll put the copper backing on and I'll clean that. I'll clean it first, then I'll put the copper backing on, then I'll weld it, and then we need to get that piece in, and then I can weld this piece in. So let's do less talking and get that done. I need to tape these up as well so I'm not getting any debris in the end of those. So let's tape those up first. So that's that one just filled in. I've also done that one. They obviously both need grinding back, but next I'm going to clean up under there and then get that one welded in, get that piece welded in wherever I put it. This piece that we made yesterday, get that in. I'll need to adjust it a little bit, get it to sit correctly, then weld it in. I'm a plonker sometimes. I need to grind these back and then drill them out, because they're what spot welds this piece to that. So let's grind it back and then I'll recreate my holes, and then it needs to be welded to this. So I've just tried it in and marked. So I need to adjust that bit there, grind them, and then we can get it welded in. So that's sort of clamped into place. I can't find my welding blooming clamp things, you know, my welding plier clamps. I don't know where I've put them. Anyway, this will do. That holds it. I'll get some tacks on the inside and then we'll slowly go around and get that welded in. So that's next job. So that's the first piece welded in. I hate welding upside down. So we'll flat these back and then we'll attack it underneath. Let's go underneath. I'll show you underneath. Because it always splatters down you. So it's really bad. It's really rough. But because I'm welding upside down and I hate welding upside down, and I've got quite a big gap to close there. I might need another little bit just in that corner there, but we'll start to grind that back a bit. Doesn't matter that it's completely flat, it's structurally sound, that's the thing. So that's that piece I welded in, ground back, filled some little holes in, and now we can do this other piece, which will be easier. This piece on this first, I've got to check it again. So I've just adjusted it a little bit here and here. Now in between those two lines, that one and that one, I need to just get the stretcher on it and just stretch it ever so slightly to curve this back end in a little bit to match the car. Now pretty much ready to weld that in. I'm going to have to get some tacks on that left hand side because I can't find my flipping welding clamps, and then start to go along and then bend it, because the stretcher won't do it, there's too much of a flange on it. And then yeah, just work it as we go along. Do the left first, and I've just shoved that fire blanket up behind there to protect those air conditioning lines. Don't want them catching fire, do we? Let's get welding. So I started to tack and then it was splattering like mad. I'm an idiot because I'd not turned my gas on. So I'm going to grind all the ones back where it's porous and redo them. So I'll go across and just grind them off and redo them. This bit needs a bit of bashing here because that's sprung out a little bit to get it to line up. That's alright, we can do that. And then that needs bashing in a bit more as well there. I'll grind that one off and bash that in a little bit, but not bad. Right, that's those ground back. So now we'll get some more tacks on and then we'll start bashing, because I don't want to bash just yet until it's tacked on, because I don't want it coming off. now I can bash. Needs to cool down. So we need that bit in there and this bit in there. I've lost my other hammer. There we go, that's okay. Let's get some more tacks on this end. So that's all that seam welded. Just needs a quick tidy up, it's not bad. And then I've got to do these plug welds. And then, oh, it's my light going over, just that bit there I need to do on the bottom. But I need to bash that up. So we're nearly there for today. So I've done that bottom bit. Next I'm going to do all these plug welds, but I grind off the weld through primer because otherwise it splatters like mad. So just Dremel, it's just a round diamond bit in the end, and then just go around, just take off that paint. Plug weld's done. Bit of grinding back, bit of wire brushing, bit of weld through primer, and we're done. Got all that on the floor. So there we go. Got the weld through primer. That's next, ready to start putting these pieces back on that I cut off to get access to it, and then I can make up the next piece. But that'll be in the next episode. I'm not going to do any more now today. I've lost my glasses. Where's my normal glasses? They're there. I found my hammer, by the way. Right. So that's another piece for the scrap pile. Next, I've got to start putting these pieces back in. So this is one piece to put in next. That goes in there. I might put that in tomorrow. Suppose we need to get some seam seal on that before I do that. And is that another piece? That's another piece, so that goes there. And I think this one, yeah, this one goes here, so that piece can go in tomorrow as well. Maybe tomorrow, maybe not, maybe I won't do that tomorrow. So that's the first two pieces welded in. That's that big lip put back on. We'll start to build back up the next inner layer in the next episode. But I hope you found that useful. For those that obviously know how to do this sort of stuff, just skip through. I've done it particularly like this in this episode because somebody asked me if I'd show how I do it, so hence why there's that. So thanks for watching, thank you for subscribing, welcome to the new subscribers, I'll see you in the next one.